Um, think we're live? Yes, we are. Hello, everybody. Gateway Politics here. Yeah, I know. I'm back from the dead. um, so yeah, I think it's time to predict the 2024 elections, which are just like 3.5 months away, and we'll talk about the presidency. We'll talk about the Senate. Won't cover the House just yet. I'll probably do that in a separate video, but we'll probably also cover some governorships as well. Um. So if I could just pull up my map very quickly. This is what I have so far for safe states for both Donald Trump and Joe Biden. I'm gonna be honest, we don't know yet if Biden's even gonna be the nominee. So this is definitely subject to change. But if President Biden is indeed still the Democratic nominee, then we will go ahead and characterize this map. Um, Assuming that President Biden will remain the Democratic nominee. And I'm going to start with the single safe state for President Biden, that being the state of New Mexico. By the way, safe is like 10 plus for me, if you're wondering what my margins are. So, New Mexico. Why, hello there, Jacob Stopper. Good to see you again. I honestly didn't think anybody would come with it being so late at night and everything. But good to see you, man. I noticed you're the first one here. We're just getting started talking about the 2024 election. If anybody has any questions, throw them in the chat. I'll surely see them. But getting back to the state of New Mexico, we'll see some movement for Trump there, but it is still a fairly democratic state. Obviously, a large Hispanic population. We'll see gains for Republicans and for Donald Trump with Hispanics, which will definitely help him in New Mexico, but it won't deliver him the state. In fact, I don't think it'll bring it within 5 points. And that is the single likely state for President Biden. Starting for former President Trump, I'm going to start off with the states of Florida and Texas. And obviously, Florida is trending Republican off a cliff. We all know that. Anybody would be stupid to insinuate otherwise. Texas, we don't exactly know where Texas is going yet. People talk a lot about blue Texas in the future, potentially. Hopefully, that doesn't happen. But we'll see. It's definitely not going to move in President Biden's direction this time around. And I believe that loss of support with Hispanics and with African Americans certainly won't help in a state like Texas, even though Texas isn't particularly known for its African American population. Florida actually is, and states like Georgia and North Carolina as well. Speaking of North Carolina, that is another state I'm going to mark as likely, just barely. I think Trump gets North Carolina by just over 5 points. So North Carolina is an interesting one. Obviously, he's going to make gains with certain white voters in different states, as well as obviously non-white voters such as African Americans and the small Hispanic population in North Carolina, although that's not really going to make much of a difference. Getting to okay, so that's all the likely states, I believe. Nobody in the chat. Sad. Okay, we'll transition over to lean states for President Biden. I'm going to start with the state of Virginia. Okay, so Virginia, interesting one. If you would have told me that there is a serious chance of Donald Trump winning Virginia just a year ago, I would have laughed in your face. Just being real, I would have laughed in your face. I still don't think Trump's going to win it. I want to be very clear about that. But he's going to get close. It's probably going to get closer to 2016 margins, closer than 2016 margins, as a matter of fact. And yeah, that's the state of play in Virginia. Obviously, we're still worried about the DC suburbs. Obviously, still worried about Richmond and Norfolk and places like that. Loudoun County, another county to keep an eye on. Will Trump win Virginia? Probably not. But it's certainly a state to keep an eye on if Trump is going to pick off any deep blue state, so to speak. Another state I think is going to be in the lean column for President Biden is the state of Minnesota. There's been movement for Trump in Minnesota ever since 2016 when he just narrowly lost the state by I think a point, and then he loses it by 7 in 2020 due to the I believe due to the riots and whatnot in Minneapolis. But Minnesota is definitely an interesting one. It's technically a Rust Belt state, although Republicans have not won it since the 70s, which was 50 years ago. So um, it'll definitely be a statement in this election if Donald Trump is actually able to win Minnesota for the first time in 52 years. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think President Biden is going to carry the state of Minnesota, albeit not by nearly as much as he did in 2020. Speaking of which, the state of New Hampshire. I think Biden's going to win by like 4 points. New Hampshire, you see, here's the thing I understand. A lot of people are moving from Massachusetts to New Hampshire, and these people are not Republicans. Just keep that in mind. These people are not Republicans. They're moving from places like Boston, and they're bringing their politics with them to New Hampshire, unfortunately, which is why I think Biden most likely hangs on to New Hampshire even in a Trump best case. That's what that is currently the state of play in New Hampshire. It's just if it weren't for so many Bostonites coming up from Massachusetts, then we might be talking about a different story in New Hampshire. But that's about as good as it gets for Donald Trump in the state of New Hampshire. Um, moving on, Maine at large. Trump's definitely going to make gains there. He's not going to win it. I could definitely see him winning it in a best case, but it's not going to happen this time around. We're not talking about a best case. We're talking about like my actual prediction of what I think is going to happen. We can go over a best case, potentially. Hello, Buckeye. Always good to see you, buddy. We can potentially go over a Trump best case. Buckeye, do you by any chance want to join the stream, or can you not? Are you just hanging out in the chat, or are you trying to join the stream? Because it's kind of getting tiring, me just up here having to talk. um, dang. All right. Okay. Well, still good to have you tune in. I'll get back to the prediction. So, Nebraska's second congressional district. I mean, Trump could win it in the best case. I personally don't believe he will in this case. It's just Nebraska's second is too weird. Like it's got so many like suburban for a lack of a more polite term wine moms. That's basically what Nebraska's second is, and it's going to be closer, but I don't believe Trump can flip it. All right, moving on to Donald Trump's lean states. I'm going to start with the state of Georgia. The state of Georgia seems like the most obvious one. Obviously, a state that Donald Trump is looking to flip at minimum, since he allegedly lost it in 2020. Obviously, looking to get back the state of Georgia, which is a very important state in that sort of Sunbelt path for Donald Trump. But we'll see how things go in Georgia. We'll see how Atlanta shakes out in terms of not necessarily in terms of margins, but in terms of turnout. And but I think Donald Trump, if the election were held today, I think he would win the state of Georgia, not only because of rural gains, but because of gains with African American voters in the Atlanta area, and even some gains in the Atlanta suburbs with some white voters. That could also happen, but we'll see. Another state that I have going in the lean column for Donald Trump is the state of Nevada. And the main reason for this is no tax on tips. I'm so glad Donald Trump is running on this because it's helping to flip the state of Nevada. I don't think that'll be the single issue that flips the state, but it will certainly help Donald Trump take the state away from Joe Biden. Obviously, Joe Biden won Nevada by the same exact margin as Hillary Clinton did in 2016. And if we can win over Nevada, that will definitely help if Trump can't win a state like, say, Michigan, which I doubt he'll have much trouble with this time around. Speaking of which, we will move on to the Rust Belt now with the state of Wisconsin. Wisconsin, Donald Trump is in a very strong position to take the state of Wisconsin. Obviously, Democrats are going to have a little bit of demographic trouble here. Did I just say Democrats? Democrats are going to have a bit of demographic trouble here, which may single handedly deliver Donald Trump the state of Wisconsin. We'll just have to wait and see. But I do believe Trump will win the state of Wisconsin by more than he did in 2016, just over a point. That's basically the state of play in Wisconsin. Unless Trump gets nuked in like Milwaukee, Madison, and the WoW again, then uh, we could be talking about a different Wisconsin. We could be talking about Biden just barely getting it. Again, Wisconsin, it's a weird state. You know, you think of Wisconsin as a state that is that could potentially be like a likely Republican state in the future, but it's a weird state. Uh, Definitely one worth talking about in the future, potentially talking about the future of the state of Wisconsin, but we won't go into that uh, a whole lot this time around. As we must move on now to the state of Pennsylvania, which I also have in the lean Trump category. Donald Trump is doing exceptionally well in Pennsylvania in the polls at the moment. If I can just pull up the general election polls in the state of the state, excuse me, not Wisconsin, in the state of Pennsylvania, very quickly. This is what we're dealing with in the state of Pennsylvania. Trump is up by 4.5 points in the polling in Pennsylvania. Obviously, we must take polls with a bit of a grain of salt. Obviously, after 2022, but see, the main thing with 2022, the reason why the polls overestimated Republicans in 2022 in a lot of states is because a lot of people had already voted before those polls were taken. Way too many people had already voted. Not to mention the fact that we didn't have great turnout. Donald Trump not being on the ballot definitely hurt a couple of Republicans. I think it hurt Ron Johnson in Wisconsin. I definitely think it hurt Dr. Oz in Pennsylvania against John Fetterman. And it hurt a couple of other Rust Belt Republicans as well. Probably hurt J.D. Vance's margins in Ohio. But this time around is going to be different. Trump's on the ballot. Trump is typically underestimated by the polls, which means this could definitely be an even higher margin of victory for Donald Trump than it depicts on this polling average right here. But you can see in the last, how many polls are here? The last 7 polls conducted in the state of Pennsylvania, Trump has led in every single poll. The last 7 polls in Pennsylvania, I want to reiterate, Donald Trump has led in every single poll. His smallest lead being 2 polls that had him up by 3 points. That's in a lot of cases that's actually out of the margin of error. Okay, I'm back. But yeah, Pennsylvania definitely looking good for Donald Trump. I'm gonna put it in the lean category because we're thinking about how the polls may change there. We're thinking about how the state of the race may change. If we're going by 2016 polling errors, then we're talking about something like this potentially in Pennsylvania. But if it's like 2020, where the average is exactly correct, then we're talking about a 4.5 point victory for Donald Trump in Pennsylvania, which I don't know if that's going to happen. Nobody knows if that's going to happen, but it's certainly it's certainly overwhelming to see Donald Trump with this big of a lead in Pennsylvania. Trump has never had this kind of a lead in Pennsylvania before. Even in 2016, you go back to 2016, you can see he never even had a lead in Pennsylvania at any point. Check that out. Never even had a lead in Pennsylvania. What about 2020? Nope, never. Never once had a lead in Pennsylvania in 2020. And you could see that the average in Pennsylvania was very accurate to the final result, which is why I'm saying if it's like 2020, that's a 4.5 point victory for Donald Trump in Pennsylvania. That's a very wacky county map, to say the very least, about that. So obviously, Pennsylvania, Donald Trump is in good position to win it. But it's obviously going to be close because it's a battleground state. We'll see how it shakes. And that leaves me with the two tilt states in this election, the states of Arizona and Michigan. I'm going to start with Arizona, where I think Donald Trump's going to win it by a tilt margin. It's just Maricopa County. A lot of the voters there have held very cringe values, and they vote for Democrats every single election at this point. They used to vote for Republicans every single election, but now they vote for Democrats. And that is one of the things that is going to hinder Donald Trump's performance in the state of Arizona. Of course, it will. But I still think Donald Trump can find enough votes elsewhere, especially in parts of rural Arizona, to overcome Maricopa County. Remember, Maricopa County was just barely enough for Joe Biden last time. All Donald Trump has to do is improve just a couple of points here and there, maybe a couple points in Yavapai County or a couple of points in Graham County, something like that. Just a couple of rural improvements across the state of Arizona to actually flip the state of Arizona back by just a little bit. And I think Donald Trump will be able to do that pretty easily. And the last state that we talk about in terms of the tilt category is Michigan. Tilt Donald Trump. Michigan's a Rust Belt state. Trump's going to perform well there. I don't know about the Senate race just yet. We'll get to the Senate race. But in terms of Donald Trump winning Michigan, I don't think he'll have much of a problem there. I think he's going to do better in this. I think he's going to do better in the Detroit area. Obviously, gains with African Americans is going to be key in the state of Michigan. Muslim Americans potentially not voting for Joe Biden, that could also influence the state of Michigan. And just rural gains as well will also help Donald Trump in the state of Michigan. Well, again, all of this is subject to change. We have 108 days before election day gets here. Everything you see on this map is subject to change, and this will not be the last prediction. I can promise you that. So, yeah, if anybody is here, please talk to me. Just say something in the chat. If you have any questions, I'll take them now. But yeah, this is my updated 2024 prediction. Kind of not a good idea to stream this late. I always pick the worst times to stream. So if anybody has any questions or if anybody wants to say anything, throw that down in the chat, please. Okay. I agree with your prediction. Yeah, I think it's a consensus prediction as of now. I think this is how the election would shake out if it was held today. Donald Trump overall is definitely in a strong position, and yeah, you can already guess how Joe Biden's campaign is going, and especially after the to put it plainly, the assassination attempt, and obviously the debate is still on some people's minds as well. It's just a question of whether or not Joe Biden can actually lead the country, and I think Donald Trump after literally being shot, made a very big statement about his strength, his ability to run this country, um, and to put it plainly, his huge fucking balls. I'm just gonna put it plainly. I don't even care. Okay, let's move on to the Senate. I feel like not enough people are predicting the Senate right now, so we'll go ahead and start doing that. So start filling out safe states. Yes, Missouri's going to be safe. I don't want to hear it. Um, yeah, just fill in all the safe states. Yes, Maryland's going to be safe. I don't want to hear about that either. And New Jersey. Yeah, it's all going to be safe. Maine, I don't know. It could be safe, could be likely. It's going Democrat. Doesn't matter. We'll talk about it. But yeah, this is all the states. Or all the safe states, I should say. All right, I'm gonna start with likely Democratic states. New Mexico, no brainer. Martin Heinrich's not going anywhere. Virginia, Hung Cow's not gonna win. Sorry, this is Tim Kaine we're talking about. Same thing in Pennsylvania. Bob Casey's not losing. Maine, I don't even know who we're running in Maine against. What the fuck is the dude's name? Angus King. Yeah, I think that's it. And for the likely Republican seats, Texas, Florida, honestly, it's no brainer. And Republicans are already at 50. That's crazy. And if Donald Trump wins the presidency, that's all they need. All right, lean Democrat states, Michigan and Wisconsin, and Nevada and Arizona. I'll talk about these all right now. Michigan, obviously, we got who the fuck is it? Mike Rogers. We got Mike Rogers running against Alyssa Slotkin in the state of Michigan. Um, this is not going to be exactly the same race as the presidency. Uh, two different things, two different candidates. I think the Democrats um, are slightly in a better position in the Michigan Senate race. Same thing with Wisconsin. Obviously, you got a pretty strong incumbent in Tammy Baldwin against Eric Hovde. I actually really like Eric Hovde as a candidate. I think he's going to at least perform well. And let's not forget Donald Trump's down ballot effect, which I believe is going to make these races significantly closer, with the exception of Pennsylvania. I think that's going to stay roughly the same with or without Donald Trump on the ballot, because it's Bob Casey, dude. All right, lean states for Republicans: Montana, um, and probably Ohio. I mean, with Trump on the ballot, I don't see Democrats being victorious in these two states. Even Ohio, despite Sherrod Brown being a, I don't even know if I said his name right, but despite Senator Brown being a very strong incumbent, obviously, but with Donald Trump on the ballot, it just doesn't seem like he's going to be able to hold on this time around. And Tester may lose by a likely margin, to be honest. It just depends on how Tim Sheehy, if that's how you say his name, I don't even know. Pretty sure that's how you say his name, but he could win by 5 points or more. John Tester is not exactly in as strong of a position now as he was in 2018. Obviously 2018 though was a blue wave. So yeah, this is the Senate. Yeah, that's the Senate. I don't know what else to tell you. Um, what else should I predict? I don't even know what to predict right now. Tell me, no, what should I predict? Bro, I remember when I used to do these streams all the time. We would actually have an audience, and we would actually have people on the stream, dude. Like, streams were so much better in 2021. Back when we actually had people. All right, what should I predict next? Or what should I talk about next, even? Well, at least I don't have to do Senate and President videos now. What happened? What do you mean? What do you mean what happened? I just stopped sharing my screen. That's all. It's all good. I just don't know what to predict or what to talk about. I should start streaming regularly again. That would be cool. Just hopefully we have more people next time. Silence is painful. All right, if nobody has anything to talk about, I guess I'll just like um oh, well, we have somebody.
Yeah, what's up?
What's up, dude?
We're doing well. Just had a nice day. So heard that you were
That's
streaming, so
awesome.
I'm like, oh yeah, I'll try.
All right.
Uh, I spent like the last 20 minutes like changing my password and just so forth because for whatever reason my password wasn't working. I'm like, what the heck? So,
I got you.
but we got it. So, what did I miss?
Well, the basically the presidency and the Senate. I don't know what else to predict though.
The house, I guess. But
Ugh. I can try predicting the House. I don't know.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. Were you just hoping you do like just predictions and like not much other talk?
Well, maybe just like chill discussion too. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what hasn't it been like a year since you've like been on YouTube officially?
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a year.
Well, I mean, hey, like better late than never to get back, right?
True. True.
Yeah. What made you decide to get back on YouTube today? Just like inspiration?
Yeah, and the fact that the election's like 8 days away.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like so much has happened in the past few weeks that it's just so hard to keep up with.
Oh yeah, like Like I was taking a look at my last presidential prediction on here. Dude, I had Biden winning. And that was in
Wasn't
like
that?
August of last year. That was a completely different race.
Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, I mean, because since then, I mean, Biden's health has deteriorated even more, and of course, we had the debate, which was hilarious, and then we
And Trump got
had
shot.
yeah, the something just nothing too big there, right? I mean,
Yeah, nothing ever happens.
exactly. So, I think what's more shocking is that people are talking about Virginia being competitive now.
Dude, that is actually crazy. Like, if anybody would have tried to tell me that a year ago, I would have told them they were crazy.
Yeah, now it's like you have multiple polls showing like there was the Roanoke poll. I think Emerson had Trump winning Virginia outright or something. Um
I mean, I still don't think he's gonna win it, but it could get really
yeah.
close.
Well, I mean here's the thing, like if Virginia is within like 5 points for Biden, I mean that means that Trump is more than likely winning Georgia by a decent amount. He's winning North Carolina by a decent amount as well too, and then
Oh yeah, I think Trump's gonna be
yeah.
just fine in Georgia.
Oh, yeah, no. I mean, it sounds like the Biden campaign has completely given up on Georgia. They've totally given up on Florida, which makes sense. And it sounds like I'm assuming they're probably focusing primarily on the Rust Belt at this point.
Yeah, if they don't have to resort to defending Minnesota.
Yeah, which the third parties could probably hurt Biden there.
Yeah, another state that I don't think Trump's gonna win, but he's gonna get much closer.
hmm Well, actually, I guess that's kind of like the big thing. Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, and a few others now are now calling for Biden to not be the nominee. So, where do you think that's going? Do you think that Biden is still going to be the nominee, or do you think they're going to switch to like Kamala Harris or someone?
Honestly, it's 50-50. I mean, they're kind of screwed either way, but like
hmm
this, I don't believe this has ever happened before.
No, it's extraordinary. This is like ahistorical.
Yeah, this is just crazy. But like,
Um,
I don't know. I think yeah, I think it's 50-50 that they either go Joe Biden or Kamala, but it won't matter at this point.
well, I mean, I think even if they got someone like I don't know, I guess Gretchen Whitmer. I mean, I feel like even they probably wouldn't do too well considering like it's almost August now.
Well, because nobody outside of Michigan actually knows who Gretchen Whitmer is. That's the main problem.
Yeah, exactly. I think even Shapiro would arguably have problems. Well, yeah, there also might be problems with like the Israel Palestine stuff too. But
Oh
maybe,
yeah, we're not even thinking about Muslim Americans potentially not voting for the Democratic Party,
yeah. So I mean,
and that throws them off in states like Michigan.
and even Minnesota to an extent too.
Yeah, that'll make Minnesota much closer, definitely.
I mean, even before there was all the stuff with like Biden's disastrous debate performance and the near assassination of Trump. I mean, Biden only got like what was it, 72% in Minnesota. Is either like 72 or or somewhere like that in 68. It was like a very bad showing for him.
Didn't uncommitted get delegates in Minnesota?
I think they got double digits in Minnesota. I know they did
Yeah.
in Michigan as well.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
So, I mean, I think there's concern there, well, potential concern there, but yeah, and I had always said that like the Democrats were going to stick with Joe Biden because I thought that he was still their best option because he was someone that could still kind of appeal to like older union voters and like still even to an extent with like some of the progressives, they're like, yeah, we're stuck with this guy. Um, but like with his health right now, and with like all the top Democrats now seemingly seem to like tell him in private, you shouldn't run. I think the possibility of him being replaced is much higher than it was even just a month ago.
I mean, potentially, but it's a lose-lose situation, like I was saying earlier.
Hmm.
It just doesn't really matter what you do at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to agree with that. That's why I still like lean towards they're not going to replace him.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I think the real question is like how much do Republicans underperform or like run in line with Trump at this rate?
I mean, that's definitely a question for the Senate, and also a very important question for the House if we want to hold that. But we'll see how it all shakes out. Obviously,
Mhm.
Trump has very strong down ballot coattails, as evidenced by 2020. But we'll see how everything shakes out.
Yeah, I remember. I think there were a few people going crazy over this one poll, and I think it was Michigan's seventh district that I think had Tom Barrett beating the Democrat there by like 6 or 7, and Trump was winning the district by 6 or 7. I don't know how much I believe that, but that's kind of big if that's true.
Oh, absolutely, because that's Slotkin's old district, right?
Yes, it is. I think
Yeah.
Trump lost it by like 2 in 2020, but she only won it by like half a point or something.
Wow. Yeah, and with her not even running for re-election, that yeah.
Yeah, although I know they redistricted it slightly. I don't know how much more Democratic it became because the results in 2022 were pretty like skewed.
Yeah. You hate to say that again.
So, I guess it's a little hard for me to say how far this, but I mean, I think we have a I think we have a shot of getting that district this year.
Potentially. I mean, just the one thing that really mainly throws that district into jeopardy for Democrats is the fact that Alyssa Slotkin's not running in that district again.
Yeah. Well, just like how Dan Kildee isn't running in the seat above that too.
Oh, Dan Kildee's not running?
No, he's not.
Ah.
He retired, so that's an open seat right now.
Hmm. Potential flip there.
Yeah, no, those were the two big potential flips in Michigan, and then Michigan's third is just gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still upset over the whole George Santos thing with getting rid of
Dude, he
him and
was
then getting sick of
unironically
Swozy.
good.
That was the most cursed thing. It was like this like gay Republican, but like he's like calling for like an. I think he called for an immigration moratorium at one point. It was like what? What's going on here?
Yeah, definitely one of the funniest things I've seen in a while.
Yeah, but I think Swazi. I've heard it both ways. Swazi probably is gonna hold. I assume.
I mean, dude, if somebody didn't know that George Santos was a real congressman, they would have thought it was probably like like an X parody or something.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. I mean, that's basically what he's been doing the last few months. Was just like living on Twitter. I think he
Yeah,
was. I think he was going to run. He might still be running as an independent against Nikola Loda.
bro.
So, yeah, he's gonna lose. He will lose that.
Well, yeah, but like, imagine just for the sake of pure chaos, he somehow won as a third party.
That would be hilarious.
Honestly, though, just pure chaos.
Yeah, it's like it would be like it's like how Jeremy Corbyn won his seat as an independent in the UK election this year.
Oh, we got the Waffle Man in the chat.
Yeah, I'm checking the chat right now. Yeah, no, it's crazy to think that like last year when you uploaded your video, I think like DeSantis was still in the primary and we were talking about like, oh, DeSantis would do better in the Sun Belt apparently, and Trump would do better in the Rust Belt. And now
Yeah.
it's like I really thought that was going to be a more contentious primary than it ended up being.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, it probably helped that his campaign was a meme, but
It's just crazy that like this time last year we were talking about a mostly unified Democratic Party and a divided
yep.
Republican Party. Now it's completely flipped on its head.
I know it's insane how quickly things change.
Yeah, it's honestly just mind blowing in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I
So
guess
that's
huh? What was this? Uh,
honestly, I'm surprised that Haley was the last one standing. I mean, it was her choice to stay in the whole time.
I mean, I think the problem with DeSantis was that he basically got sandwiched between like Trump, Ramaswamy, and Haley. So like more of the he tried to play like all lanes, and as a result, like he basically limited his audience. So like all the
Yeah.
Trumpers either went home to Trump, they went to Ramaswamy, and then the never Trumpers basically went to Haley.
Yeah, that and obviously DeSantis was trying to win the award for the worst campaign of all time.
Oh, that's that too. Although Biden is starting to give him a run for his money at this point.
Yeah.
Like I saw some people who were like saying like when they saw some stuff from Biden's campaign, they're like, we might need to apologize to the DeSantis 2024 people.
Honestly, at this point, I might agree.
Yeah, I mean, I personally think Trump is going to win. I think it's just a question of how much he wins by at
Oh
this
yeah.
point.
I mean,
Um,
the Democratic Party is in too bad of a position right now.
I mean, they're a month away from their convention. A lot of them aren't even sure if they want to put Biden up as their nominee. So
Yeah, and the fact that Biden literally just said, "Challenge me at the convention."
yeah, well, yeah. I think he said in the one statement that I think he was talking to NATO. He's like saying like the delegates can vote who they want. So
Yeah.
and he has COVID now. So
Yeah, that's not good. Obviously, hope he recovers
yeah,
quickly.
yeah. Obviously, I hope he's okay. I hope I don't want anything. I don't like Joe Biden as a president, of course, but I don't want anything bad to happen to him personally.
No.
Not just speak for his own health, but also because then it means that Kamala Harris becomes president briefly if something were to happen to him.
Yeah. And overall, it's just a pretty shitty thing to do to wish harm on presidents.
Yeah.
Looking at you, Destiny.
Oh yeah, I heard about that comment.
Yeah, that's a whole thing now.
Yeah, I mean, like even like Harry Sisson was like saying that like this needs to be condemned outright. So like, if Harry
Yeah,
Sisson is more right than you, then that's a problem.
yeah, because at least Harry Sisson isn't that blinded by his hatred for Donald Trump.
Well, yeah, I mean he's just getting paid, so it's like it's not that he's
Yeah,
stupid. Well, I mean maybe he probably is, but I mean he's just getting paid. So
yeah. I mean, the whole thing behind like Harry Sisson is just kind of comical, to be honest.
hmm I still remember like watching like some of his like shorts before like the debate where he's like Joe Biden is gonna throw Donald Trump around in this debate. He's been preparing for the last 10 days and Trump hasn't even been preparing at all. So when he wins this debate, you're gonna see all these salty Trumpers. And then I think
If
he said after the debate that like that Biden won. So it's like major coping on his part.
if that's what 10 days of preparation looks like, then he's gonna need at least 30.
Hmm Yeah. Speaking of debates, the Kamala Harris JD Vance debate should be fun.
Oh, that's gonna be so amazing.
Yeah, apparently he's JD Vance is going to give some type of rally or event in his hometown this Monday. So
Oh, that's cool.
yeah.
I mean, obviously Ohio isn't in play, but every
Yep.
little bit helps.
Well, I mean, it could help with like the Senate race here. So
Oh yeah, that's true. I keep forgetting Ohio has a Senate race.
yep. And yeah, I mean, speaking of which, since you weren't obviously like your last video was way before this, I mean, that primary wasn't even close, which I was happy about.
Yeah, I mean, like a year ago, that it wasn't even clear who was going to win that primary.
No. Well, because Trump hadn't endorsed Moreno at that point. I think he endorsed him in like December of 2023. It was somewhere
Yeah,
around
and then
that time frame that he did.
it was just over.
Yeah, I mean, I still remember like, I mean, if we're talking about like polling being off, like that was the first primary where like this cycle where polls were pretty off because like the most favorable poll to Moreno had him only winning by like 8 or something, and then he won by like 18 or 19.
Yeah, didn't he get like more than half of the vote?
What?
Didn't he get a majority of the vote?
He did, yeah, he got over 50%. And he
Yeah,
won
that.
every single county, so
So yeah, it's clear Ohio Republicans made their choice.
yeah, I think that rally in Dayton really helped Moreno.
Yeah, most likely.
So
Now we just got to get him to win the general election.
yeah, I think he'll win. I
I
think if
think.
like if the polls are right where Trump is in Ohio right now, I think they have him winning Ohio by like 11 to 12. That should be enough to
I could
carry
see that.
Moreno over. I mean, Sherrod Brown is an overperformer, but he overperforms by like 3 points. Like that's not going to be enough to carry him over this year.
No. And I think that's going to be the one thing that gives Bernie Moreno the victory. The in Ohio is going to be the fact that Trump's on the ballot. I mean, if this race was in 2022, then ugh, that
There would be a lot more concern about that, but he is
yeah,
now he's putting more ads out, so
that's good. That's good. Definitely
yeah.
need ads.
When I was watching some of like the convention yesterday, I got like some of the first ads for Moreno. Well, technically Americans for Prosperity had been airing a bunch of ads against Brown. But
Uh-huh.
like Moreno is now airing ads, and so like I saw like basically 2 ads for Moreno, and then right after that I got like an ad for Brown. So
All right. Well, so far I've just been getting ads for like Missouri lieutenant governor.
oh, Valentina Gomez, that chick.
No, she's running for Secretary of State. I don't
Hmm.
know who I'm voting for lieutenant governor.
Yeah, I haven't looked into that race, so I don't really know who all is there.
I mean,
I
I've
just know
almost
I know that your governor is kind of a rhino.
yes and no. I mean, he just kind of doesn't do anything.
Okay, but it's Missouri, so I mean,
Yeah, I mean, not much really happens here. I mean, it's not like we're a battleground state or anything.
not anymore. No,
No.
you guys haven't been a battleground since like 2008. So
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure like the only reason McCain won the state is because of Sarah Palin.
yeah, because that Missouri was like right down the wire or something. Like McCain only won it by like point. Like I think he won it by less than a point or something.
Oh yeah, it was. I think it was the closest state in 2008, Missouri.
Wouldn't surprise me because I know like McCain even lost Indiana. So
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
yeah, it's like if you're losing Indiana as a Republican,
It's over.
you're getting blown out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean that would be like if like Joe Biden lost like New Jersey this year, which
Oh
I
yeah.
don't think
Then
is going to happen. But I mean,
no, it
yeah,
probably won't. But we could see a lot of crazy things happen.
I mean if it's within 10, I think that's a victory enough.
Fair enough. And if it's
Uh,
like according to my margins, if it's within 10, then it's a likely margin.
yeah, I like to use the 10 as the difference between likely and safe. Some people like to do 15, but I think 10 is just better.
Yeah, I was using 15 like all the time before, but I've recently switched over to 10.
That's good. Yeah, I mean, I think I don't want to jinx anything, but I feel like this is probably gonna be like the craziest election of our lifetime.
Oh yeah, it very well could be. But it's very important. Those who can vote should absolutely get out and vote.
Yep.
Very important. Don't stay home.
Yeah, no, we can't have a repeat of 2022 where we just underperform in comparison to expectations.
Yeah, I don't ever want to see that again.
Yep. Um, although I'm getting a lot better signs about this year than 2022.
Well, yeah,
Like
because it.
Trump is polling better than like I mean I know polling isn't everything, but he's polling better than like the Senate nominees were in 2022.
Well, yeah, and like I got to be honest, in 2022, my gut was always contrarian to my actual predictions that I put out to the
Hmm.
public, and in the back of my mind in 2022, it always felt like something might go wrong, and in the end, it kind of did. So, yeah, but it's not like that this
Yeah.
time around. To be honest,
Well, I
I feel very confident about Donald Trump's chances this time
y-
around.
yeah, like I think also looking back to 2022, I think another reason why there was an underperformance is because you had a lot of like semi-popular like Democrats like run again for like either
Hmm.
Senate or like gubernatorial races, and I think that kind of offset some of like the potential like losses for Democrats,
Yeah,
and
like
incumbents
uh,
just do better.
like Gretchen Whitmer in Michigan.
Or even though he wasn't an incumbent, I mean, Josh Shapiro was. I think he
Oh
was the
yeah,
lieutenant governor for Tom Wolf, or he
that
basically was
that
heavily affiliated with Wolf. So,
that and Doug Mastriano just wasn't a good candidate.
well, yeah, he also got outspent. Like Shapiro was given like $100 million or something too. So,
Yeah, but like I remember the Pennsylvania Senate race and just looking at how lopsided it actually was for Shapiro, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
I mean,
I knew he would
the
lose, but
gubernatorial race, the
jeez,
Senate race was Oz.
yeah. Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
Pennsylvania Senate race took me by surprise. I didn't realize that Oz was going to lose by close to 5 points.
5. Yeah, that was kind of when I knew that like the night wasn't going well when we were like down by a fair amount in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, or just the fact that we weren't taking the lead at all in Pennsylvania, and it was just kind of,
No.
it was kind of panic time.
Yeah. I think another thing too, like why I feel better about this year in comparison to 2022 is that like in 2022, like neither Biden nor Trump were on the ballot.
Right, and that's all
And
I'm talking about.
so, yeah.
It's freaking Donald Trump. Like everybody knows who Donald Trump is.
Yeah. And I think another problem too is the fact that like Democrats are now benefit from low turnout, where Republicans I think benefit more from high turnout now.
Yeah,
We even saw that in 2023 as well too. Like turnout for the Kentucky gubernatorial election was abysmal. Like it was even worse than 2019.
oh yeah,
So like I think Daniel Cameron actually got more votes than Andy Bashir did in 29. No, he sorry, no. I got Matt Bevin I think got more votes than Andy Bashir did in 2023. So it
yeah,
was
he did.
something like that.
It was just Daniel Cameron did so much worse than Bevin did.
Yeah. So I think in a lot of these like low turnout elections, you're gonna see like more favorable stuff to the Democrats. Like we saw with the Ohio 6th special election with
Yeah,
Michael Ruley.
but
Which
like
by
the
the way, in that special election, Mahoning County was 50-50. So I don't think that's a good sign for Biden in Mahoning County this year.
nope, I'd say not.
That's
And
probably not a good sign for Sherrod Brown either.
And
Because Bernie Moreno is like one of his best count. Well, I think his best county was Mahoning. So
oh wow.
yeah, no, it was weird. Like his best counties were like a few counties in like the ancestral Republican part of like the western part of Ohio. He did pretty well in the Cincy suburbs, and he did very well in like Trumbull and Mahoning. So it was like a bit all over the place for him.
Yeah, and that's like Obama Trump territory right there.
Yep.
But
So
like
that's kind of, and I think, well, I mean, primary, but like Moraine, I believe the Republicans outvoted the Democrats in that primary too. But contested primary versus not uncontested, that could be, you could explain some of that, but I think that's
yeah.
a good sign.
Oh yeah. But like the special election in Colorado, I think it was like last month. That was
Yeah, I remember
that was
that.
that was surprisingly high turnout, and Republicans won by a lot.
Yeah, what's his name? I forget he was like he seemed like a very controversial candidate. And then he like won by like a decent amount.
He won by like 20 points, I believe.
Yeah, I completely forget what his name is.
So, yeah, so do I. I wasn't really paying much attention to that particular race in that district. I was more so paying attention to the Republican primary. But
Right.
yeah,
Well, yeah, I'm trying to remember like what else. I think that was also the same night as like the Utah primaries.
I
For
think
like
it might have
Spencer
been. Yeah.
Cox and um
Oh yeah.
Trent Staggs.
Speaking of Spencer Cox, I believe he just endorsed Donald Trump.
That's pretty big because he was like
A pretty big never Trump guy. But yeah, he endorsed Donald Trump apparently. And we lost him. Okay. That is great. Well, we'll give him a little bit of time to come back. Yep, there he is.
sorry, someone just tried to call me there, so it messed up my audio.
Oh, okay, I got you.
All right, sorry. What were you saying, Spencer Cox? Yeah, he endorsed Trump, right?
Yeah. And
Um,
he's typically a big anti-Trump guy, so
they liked his speech yesterday, so that's good.
yeah. I mean, I feel like a lot of people liked the RNC address.
Yeah, there were some people saying that they thought that Trump was like low energy. I mean, I guess in comparison how he normally is, I can see that, but I thought it was a very good demeanor, especially after the assassination attempt.
Exactly. My brother in Christ, he just got shot.
Yeah, it's like there's people like saying like he looks like he's gonna fall asleep. I'm like, he almost got shot and he's probably on pain meds right now. I think he's I think he's entitled if he does fall asleep. I don't think anyone would blame him.
Yeah.
So
I mean that has to take a lot out of one person getting shot in the ear, like centimeters away from death.
oh yeah, that would 100% be taxing. I mean, I think he looked the most tired on the first night, but I felt like he looked better every other night after that. So
Yeah, and he was ready to speak, and I thought he gave a really good speech despite seeming a little bit low energy.
yeah, no, I mean, I think that seems to be. I thought most people tended to agree with that, but there were a few people who were like, he needs more energy. But I'm like, I thought it was fine.
I mean, obviously, 2016 Trump was peak, and we'll probably never see that again. But
Yeah, but it's like that's 8 years ago, and I
right,
mean, he's
the
much
man was
older.
yeah, the man was aged not only by his presidency but post presidency with all of the for lack of better word shit that he's been through.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like even though he doesn't have, he's not like the same as he was in 2016. He's still there. I mean, who else would have like immediately after an assassination attempt just gone like, wait, wait, and then like put his like fists in the air and say fight, fight? Like no one else would have done that. That's like
That that's
everybody's been
some
saying it, but it's Teddy Roosevelt level of charisma there.
Exactly. That is so bull moose.
Yeah, it was just insane.
But like Teddy Roosevelt didn't even technically get shot. It was like his speech that saved him from getting shot.
Yeah, because well, if I recall, he had like some metal badge or something in his that basically like prevented the bullet from going further, and they basically realized that like it's actually like more safe if we keep the bullet in you than it is to remove it. I think that's how it went down, but don't
Yeah,
quote
I
me on
believe
that.
so. But yeah, it's still
So
pretty incredible stuff when we talk about like how that all went down with Teddy Roosevelt.
yeah, so I mean, it's kind of a cliche statement, but like I really think that God saved Trump that day. I mean,
Oh, absolutely, no
literally
question.
inches away from it happening. It's just insane. Like I was on edge after that statement for like the next 2 hours. It was just insane.
I mean, yeah, like when I first heard Trump got shot, I was like, oh no.
Yeah. Um. I mean, I wonder now if it means that he's done doing outdoor rallies. At this point.
I certainly hope so, or at least just like heightened security so that that doesn't
Yeah.
happen
I
again.
mean, no. He should really get his own like private security or something.
Yeah, because that was pretty obvious failure by the Secret Service to secure that rooftop.
Yep. Yeah, no, that was total mismanagement on the staff of them. Obviously, the people there who did shield Trump like right up front, like they did their job, but like I don't know, like they should have been
But
able to stop the shooter.
but even then, that was like half women, and they were smaller than Donald Trump was.
Well, that's probably a result of the higher ups of the Secret Service wanting like didn't they want like what 30% of the Secret Service to be women or something? I forget what else they
Yeah,
wanted.
yeah,
So
that is a fact.
DEI almost got Trump killed.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and they literally refused. They literally refused. Like the Trump and his team wanted like more security, and they basically like didn't even answer him on that for a while. So
Wait,
it's not look good for them.
weren't Democrats like actually trying to strip Donald Trump's Secret Service protection if he got convicted?
I don't know on that. You might be correct on that, but I just don't know.
Because it seems like if I remember correctly, I think they were trying to do that earlier this year. And if that is the case, then that is hella fishy.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of theories go around about the whole thing. I'm waiting till I hear like any like all information before I make such like bold statements, but I for now I'm just saying that it was just mismanagement, so
Yeah.
yeah.
But what we
Oh,
do know for a fact, it was an assassination attempt
well, yeah, no, this is the first time we've had an assassination attempt on a president
since
since like
Reagan.
Reagan.
Yeah. The first serious attempt, anyway.
Yeah. And the last guy was just like some insane maniac who thought that he was that he's protecting Jodie Foster and Taxi Driver, so
Oh, God.
so
Well, yeah. Since last August, a lot of things have changed.
yeah, like DeSantis losing Iowa by 30, but it's okay because Trump actually lost Iowa by 50, so no, I still remember that like the funniest thing was like seeing like some of the big dissimp accounts like Max Twain. They were saying that oh, when Trump underperforms or loses Iowa, he's gonna say that the Iowa caucuses were rigged. And then all of them were saying that the Iowa caucuses were rigged because they called it within the first 5 minutes. So
Yeah. I
that
mean,
that was pretty funny.
with DeSantis supporters, like every single time something happened to further bury Governor DeSantis's campaign, they would always say, "Well, just wait until the announcement. Just wait until Iowa. Just wait till New Hampshire." Like until then it's like, "Oh, just wait until 2028."
Yeah. Well, no. You see, the electorates will vote their conscience. The delegates will vote their conscience. So
Yeah, totally.
we just
That's
gotta.
totally what happened.
It's okay, guys. We got the commit to caucus cards out, so we're all good.
Yeah, that totally the delegates will decide to turn on the choice of Republican voters and just magically instate DeSantis
Yep. Yeah.
because that's
I
totally how the RNC works.
Yeah, they're definitely gonna do that. They're definitely gonna make sure that DeSantis becomes the monarch of the United States. They will definitely make sure that happens.
Real.
Mm.
Which
Yeah,
is why I honestly have my doubts if the Democratic Party even can replace Biden at this point unless he himself drops out.
well, yeah, because I think if it's anyone but him and Kamala, they basically like all the money they spent on Biden basically goes like down the drain, and they have to spend more money. But also, like
That's
his name is already on the ballot in states like Wisconsin and Nevada,
yeah, that's another problem.
so I mean, it just opens a whole can of worms. And then if Biden does step down and they want to replace Kamala Harris, it's like you'd be replacing the first black woman as president, so potentially to be president. That's not a good look for you guys at all.
Nope. I mean, it's just for 2024, I just don't really feel like there is a way for Democrats to win 2024 at this point.
Yeah, which if you had told me this like a year ago, I would have called you crazy. But
Oh,
here we
absolutely,
are.
because it was completely flipped then. It was a different race.
Yeah, because a lot of Republicans were still blaming Trump for 2022. A lot of them wanted to move on to DeSantis or Haley or something, and like all Biden's health wasn't as not as bad as it was now, or people didn't really see it until the debate. So, yeah,
Yeah, and just it's just crazy to see how the race has made a complete 180.
yeah, and it's like now like the fact that we're even talking about like a Trump landslide is just like I mean, I'm not saying it's going to happen like 100%, but like the fact that we're talking about it being a possibility is like
Right,
just insane.
the fact that it's a serious discussion.
Yeah. So
I
I'm
mean,
glad I'm alive for this election and that I'm paying attention to what's going on because I can't wait to tell like younger people about this. Be like, oh, what was 2024 like? Well, I'll tell you.
oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're really living history at this moment.
Yeah, no, I mean, because if Trump wins, which I think he does, then he's going to be the second person in American history to be elected twice, so
Yeah.
or serve non-consecutive terms,
Yeah, like
which
have
you know,
two different presidencies.
yeah, yeah. I will say if Biden does drop out, though, I'm just gonna burst out laughing.
Honestly, it's I think it's a real possibility. I'm just not going to
Yeah,
go ahead and say that it's 100% going to happen. Like that wouldn't be correct.
yeah. Like, I mean, I give maybe I would say like 30% chance of it happening, but and that's probably a little bit high, but it seems like a real possibility. But I still
Yeah.
don't think it happens.
No, I think I think Democrats' best chance is to proceed with Biden as the nominee.
Yeah. Which puts a lot of the Senate candidates in a bit of a sticky situation where a lot of them, like Sherrod Brown, are calling for Biden to not be the nominee. So that's
Yeah, what you got to do then?
exactly. Because it's like, I mean, imagine that he did win. Like, would Biden try to exact vengeance on the people who wanted him to step down? That would be an interesting timeline. Um,
Yeah, imagine Biden's just like, "Oh, you wanted me to step down? Guess you're not winning." Pulls all funding.
primary. Yeah, but I don't see that happening. So
No,
yeah.
because then Democrats would really have a fit.
hmm Yeah, I just hope this election doesn't end up being like the UK election where Labour obviously they got like a big majority, but they underperformed expectations and the Tories overperformed. Obviously, like they still won by a lot, but I mean they could have won by even more.
Oh yeah, I mean, given the absolute state of the UK Conservative Party, it really should have been more.
Well, and it's even more crazy is if Reform UK hadn't have run candidates in a lot of places, there's a good chance the Tories could have won even more. So,
Yeah.
like, if it wasn't for like the Reform candidate in Liz Truss's seat, she most likely would have won her race.
Oh, I didn't even realize she ran for the parliament.
Yeah, no, she lost by like a couple hundred votes. It was a very close race.
Oh wow. Yeah, I really only looked at the results of the UK election once, and I was just kind of looking around at random districts.
Yeah, no, it was pretty. I watched like some of the results. Apparently, like when they're hearing results, they gather all the candidates, like, and they say the parties, and then like, so you basically have to like be there live with the other candidates while they announce if you win or lose or not. So it's kind of brutal.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then like afterwards, like the news report, like the reporters was asking you, like, so what do you think? What do you think went well in your re-election, or what do you think didn't go well? It's like holy crap,
Wow.
it's brutal.
Such a gut punching question to somebody who literally just lost.
Yeah. So
But yeah, it's crazy
and
to think how election nights in a lot of countries is so different from here.
yeah, because they had like exit polls for the UK like right early on, where I don't think there was we have that exactly.
No,
Um,
I mean
but
our exit polls mostly take down like things like age or income or things like that. It doesn't take down like voting intention.
yeah. And then obviously there's the fact that we talk about the electoral college as well too. So
Oh yeah, that's always a discussion every year.
and then obviously the discussion of the popular vote and so forth. So, but I mean, I like the way we do our system, except when it takes days to count votes. That's not fun.
Yeah, not really a fan of election night becoming election week.
Yeah,
Well,
and it was
looking
that
at
way in
you, Arizona
2022. Yep, I swear, if we're freaking way on Arizona again for like
and Nevada.
days, yeah. Although I think Lombardo did improve the election system a bit there, so that's good.
Yeah, hopefully that works out.
Yeah, I guess we'll see this year.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give a little like room because I know they're on the West Coast and so they start counting their votes later, but I mean, really we should know our results by the next day. It's like there's no reason to spend like another few days counting votes and so forth. It's like we should know this.
Right. And well, it's not certain if Nevada will take forever again, but considering nothing of importance has changed in Arizona, yeah, we'll probably be waiting for them forever again.
Yeah. Yeah, Maricopa, we're looking at you right now.
Yeah, Maricopa.
Yeah, what I still find funny is, again, like a year ago, we were talking about like Trump's the guy for the Rust Belt, and the Sun Belt may be out of reach for him, but he's doing better. At least if polling is to be believed, then he's doing better in the Sun Belt than he is in the Rust Belt.
That's honestly crazy to me.
Yeah, which are they potentially what's the word I'm looking for?
Overestimating.
Yeah, thank you. Overestimating Trump potentially, but I mean,
I don't think it's likely though.
yeah, I mean, this would be like the first cycle that Trump is actually being overestimated. So,
Yeah, and that's why I take a look at these polls and I'm like, oh my god, is this happening?
well, yeah, because the final polls in 2020 had Biden winning the popular vote by like 8 or something.
Yeah, and he won it by like half that.
Yeah, he won it by like 4.5. So, and he barely won too when he won 4.5 when he won the popular vote by 4.5. So,
Oh yeah, just 40,000 votes across Arizona, Georgia, and Wisconsin. I mean, that throws the election to the House, and then he probably loses in that case.
and then Pennsylvania was within 2%.
Yeah, I mean, that's a little harder to flip, but yeah.
Yeah. So, and I think polls at this time in 2020, they might have had Trump losing Ohio at this point.
Yeah, I mean, polling has not really been that good in Ohio, I don't think ever, but still.
No, it's generally been very bad. Even the final polls in 2020 had Trump winning only by like a point or something.
Yeah, something like that. The polls even had him like in danger of losing Iowa. Like, what?
Yeah, they also had Texas as like barely going to Trump.
That'll forever be crazy to me.
I know the polls, I think most of the polls had Biden narrowly winning North Carolina.
Pretty sure they had him winning like North Carolina, Florida.
Yep, nope, they had him winning Florida. I remember that.
Yeah, they actually had him up in Florida by a couple of points.
Didn't 538 say that like Biden had an 80% chance of winning Florida or something? It was some ridiculous amount like that.
Yep, Joe Biden with an 80% chance to win the ultimate swing state up to that point.
Yep. And then Trump won it by more than he won it by in 2016.
Yeah, it's just crazy to see what Florida has actually become these last 4 years.
Yeah, I know it's hard to think that if DeSantis had lost to Andrew Gillum, that I mean, it's possible like Florida might still be a swing state because of that.
I think it probably would have been, yeah.
I mean, I will say like I think 2018 was probably like the first like real like chance or like our vision of like Florida in the future because like in a blue wave environment, like Rick Scott took out an incumbent and then Ron DeSantis beat Andrew Gillum, who was like seen as the next Obama at that time. You know,
Yeah.
before he got exposed for before he got exposed with a gay prostitute.
Yeah.
So Florida really dodged a bullet there.
Oh, for sure. And obviously Trump's going to win it by quite a bit.
No, I was actually like wondering like how early they're gonna call Florida this year.
I give it no longer than 30 minutes after poll closing.
Well, I mean, at that point, they're going to be like halfway done with counting the votes. So,
Probably even more than that, actually. Florida goes crazy.
yeah. I mean, even in 2020, they were very quick with their votes.
Oh yeah, and that was like the first time that Florida ever had to deal with like mass mail-in voting, and they still were
Yeah.
like hella quick with it.
Yeah, I know that's why like in 2022 it seemed like holy cow, this is going to be a great 2022 because like they were done counting in like an hour, and then like DeSantis won by like 20, Rubio by like 17.
Yeah. And then we very quickly realized that the rest of the country was not like Florida.
Yep. Yep. But this isn't 2022 anymore. This is 2024.
Right. Very different election.
So higher turnout. So
And I actually get to vote this time. Let's go.
oh, congrats.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the first election I was able to vote in was the 2018 midterms.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so I did vote in 2020, so that was fun.
I couldn't vote in either of those elections. Too young.
That
And
is what it is.
I just barely missed out on 2022 as well.
Yeah, I actually I didn't vote in the primaries in 2022, but I did vote in the general that year, so
Yeah.
yeah. I
Oh,
wasn't in college in my state, so I missed my chance to get a mail in for the primaries, but thankfully I was able to vote early for the general.
gotcha. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm probably gonna vote sometime before election day just to avoid election day lines.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I'll probably end up doing the same as well too.
Yeah, primaries and general.
And then I'm going to be watching that election probably all the way through. So
Oh yeah.
I did it with 2016. I did it with 2020. I'm going to do it in 2024.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I did it in 16, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24.
Yeah, I don't think I did. I didn't do 21, but I did watch through like all of 22 and 23.
Yeah. I, I mean 2021 was like really cool. And it didn't even take that long to call Virginia.
Yeah, no, I remember like being like when I might have been watching someone doing a live stream of that. Because I remember that, yeah, because Youngkin won Virginia, and then I think Ciottarelli, I forget how to say his name, he got like very close to winning New Jersey, which is insane.
Oh yeah, he had like a very late lead until he didn't.
hmm I think he lost by like 3%, 3 points or something like that.
Yeah, it was something like that. It was like really close, and I don't think many people saw it being that close.
I didn't. I
Oh,
had a feeling that we could potentially do the Virginia governor's race when I saw like how bad some of the attacks were like by Terry McAuliffe on Youngkin. I was like,
oh yeah,
do you remember like when he tried to like they tried to do like another like fake Charlottesville rally with like they were
I do
claiming
remember.
like, oh, this is like an alt-right tiki torch, and like one of the guys in the picture
Yeah,
was black. It's like the fight. I'm
I
like,
remember
is this
that,
for real? Is this a joke right now?
bro. That one black guy just trying to get a check.
Yeah, that was like the funniest name in the world. I'm like, I think Glenn Youngkin might actually win this, and then that's what happened.
Yeah, that'll never not be funny to me.
Yeah, and then we thought like, oh yeah, 2022 is going to be a really big red wave from that, and then that didn't materialize. But
Nope.
Hey, learning lessons.
Yeah, hopefully, hopefully everybody who can will get out and vote in 2024.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of things that were different a year ago, different RNC chair. So
Yeah, we got rid of
Ronna
McDipshit.
McDaniel. Yep, she's gone.
Yep.
And now we have Michael Watley and Laura Trump. So this is good.
Yeah, hopefully we'll have better results this time.
Yeah, I think we will. I think we will.
And like a lot of people seem to point out that we started losing elections when Donald Trump became president. Well, that's also around the time that Ronna McDaniel became RNC chair. So
Hmm. Well, I mean, another thing too, it's like, well, first off, they lost 2008 in a blowout, so that was before Trump. They couldn't win 2012. Sure, they did well in 2010, 2014, but if you look
nobody
at those
voted.
years, there were a lot more open seats than there were in like 2022. And then 2018
And
was a blue wave, but it's like the incumbent has generally lost like the House and the Senate, like
yeah,
usually in the midterm, like Obama did, for example. So,
and like 2 people voted in 2010. So there's that.
yeah, I mean, again, like Republicans benefited more from lower turnout then.
Now
And
it's the
people will
complete
say
opposite.
like, "Oh, Trump cost us the college educated voters." No, liberals getting more in control of colleges by becoming teachers, and the colleges becoming more left wing is what's causing more of the suburban shift rather than Trump. Oh, and the suburbs getting more diverse too. But so it's
Yeah,
like two things at once. And then the older generations that lived in the suburbs that voted more conservative are dying out there. So
yeah,
it's like three things at once that are more of an answer than Trump.
yeah, and also more Gen Z men will be involved in this election.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's going to be very interesting to see how younger voters vote in this election.
Well, younger male voters, I expect to actually break for Trump by quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think from what I've seen in polling of like younger people, it seemed like men were getting a lot more conservative,
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
which I mean, I that doesn't surprise me because I remember I think what pushed me to the right was like a lot of like the like feminism and just like how bad that was like in 2016 and 2015 and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've toned it down a bit in the last like year or two, but I mean it's still not good. But like it
Yeah, I
was
mean,
really, really obnoxious in like 2015. I just remember I remember that.
yeah, I mean, like it started kind of dying down a little bit once they started getting a little more pushback.
Yeah. Um I'm trying to think because I remember like in 2016 they were saying that you were a sexist if you didn't go see the new Ghostbusters movie. And then
I'm sorry,
after
what?
the do you remember this? Do you remember this in 2016?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe a little bit of it, but like,
Well, yeah, no, like they basically like no, like they basically were saying that if you didn't see the Ghostbusters with Melissa McCarthy, Kate McKinnon, and so forth,
oh,
that you were a sexist, and they got very angry people for that. Where now you have like movies like the Marvels, which is like predominantly female cast, like bomb at the box office, and like they were just like all sound about that. They didn't say it was because of
yeah,
like sexist fans or anything. So
yeah. So 2016 is when everybody started losing their fucking minds, huh?
it was like the 2014 to 2016 is like that was like the peak of like the SJW era and stuff like that. Um, that was when like BuzzFeed was getting very political and like having like all the videos and like remember like the 50 questions women have for men.
Yep, I
Um,
remember that.
that was, Gamergate happened during that time. Um, it was like all that stuff. That was like right when I was entering high school, so it was like that's when I started paying attention to things.
I mean, I just like mainly remember all the stuff from like 2017.
I forget what happened like specifically with 2017.
I can't necessarily remember exactly what happened either. It was just like it seemed like everything was happening around that time in terms of like everybody losing their mind.
Well, yeah, that was bad too. I remember that's when people were that's like when the YouTube adpocalypse happened. Or maybe that was late 2016. It was somewhere either way, similar time frame.
Yeah.
I remember Anita Sarkeesian back in like 2015, 2016. Now she's completely irrelevant.
Wow.
Um, so I haven't heard from Lacey Green in a while, but she became less unhinged even back in like 2017. So
Yeah.
it's just insane like how much things have changed like in the YouTube landscape. Because like all like the big anti SJW channels are like now kind of either became leftist or they basically stopped making videos about that stuff entirely.
Yeah. It's kind of a shame to see.
Yeah.
It's also just the fact that like there are like kind of less SJWs now.
Oh yeah. Um I don't know why. I think it's because a lot of the I don't know why. I don't know why a lot of them stopped. Maybe it's because it became more easy to make fun of them over time. I don't know.
Yeah, it just became a meme. Like nobody's seriously an SJW anymore.
Yeah. That's like why the Mr. Bertram show really like fell. Well, it was bad for a number of reasons, but like a lot of the jokes they were telling in that show seemed like you could have told them in 2016 and they would have been more fresh back then. But now it's like, okay, we've heard all these jokes already, and then the animation's worse, and then yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's been a slight dialing back of some of that because people started getting annoyed with all the like the political correctness and so forth. And not to say like obviously they're still very liberal, but I mean they've tried to be less overt about it.
Yeah.
Like and then like stuff that was like big success like Top Gun, Maverick, Sound of Freedom and so forth, I think probably has influenced Hollywood a little bit more, for example.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Also, apparently this is a thing.
What's this? Uh, uh, what the heck? Oh, that's great.
Dude,
This is hilarious.
I mean, I just
Uh,
quite quickly get on Twitter. Yes, I still call it Twitter. And I just
I
see
do
this.
too.
And I'm like I just see this and I'm like, yep, I have to put this on stream.
No, I think that's a good thing to put on stream.
That's amazing. I'm
The
gonna bet the
lettuce is
over.
currently
I'm
the
gonna
projected
bet the
winner.
over on lettuce.
Yeah, I think I would probably, if I had to place bets, probably on lettuce right now.
Yep. It seems
I
the
mean, he
majority
sounded
of
better at his speech for NATO, but I mean, that's not saying much when his debate performance was horrendous.
I mean, the NATO speech was like going from F minus to like F plus.
Yeah, I mean, maybe like D minus.
Yeah, and that's in my opinion being generous.
Hmm. Yeah, it's like such a. Yeah, I mean, there was a low standard for you, and it's like, okay, cool, good job, Joe, you did it. You didn't
Yay, you
completely
did
implode on
something.
stage. You didn't crap your pants on stage. Great job.
Yeah.
I still remember like Jill Biden saying like after the debate, like, "You did good, Joe. You answered every question." The funniest
I
thing in the
remember that
world.
too. It was just like, yay, good job, Joe. You passed fucking kindergarten. Great fucking job.
Uh, yeah, and then you realize like, geez, this guy's the president right now. Holy crap.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is great. That's
It's a
awesome.
it's a lot less funny when you realize he's actually in the White House.
Yeah. Well, good news is hopefully we only have just 4 more months with him, so
Well, more like 6 because
oh
the
yeah.
inauguration's in
Yeah,
January.
I was going to election day. I wasn't thinking about till inauguration, but
Oh yeah. Yeah, it won't be much longer now.
yeah. I was still kind of surprised. I didn't expect at first that he was going to pick JD Vance as his VP. I was thinking I predicted that he was going to do Ben Carson because I thought like Trump. Everything that I had been seeing was that Trump wanted like either like a woman or a minority for his VP.
Dude,
But then
last
but
dude,
I'm
freaking
I'm happy that he chose Vance.
last year in my presidential prediction video, I had to put somebody as Trump's VP because it didn't really look too good having Biden and Kamala and then having Trump and who?
Yep.
And so I just kind of filled in Tim Scott. Um
Oh no.
uh, yeah, glad that didn't happen.
I am extremely happy that didn't happen. I'm happy that didn't happen. I'm happy that Trump Burgum 2024 didn't happen. I'm happy
Yeah.
Trump Gnome 2024 didn't happen.
Oh God,
You know,
no.
say no to Gnome.
Fucking puppy killer, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That story happened this year.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I was kind of indifferent on Noam until that story dropped, and I was like, okay.
I didn't like her because of like the vetoing the gender transition stuff in South Dakota. Um,
Yeah, that definitely affected my opinion before the whole dog story fell.
yeah, but she just couldn't shut up about the situation. It was like the funniest thing. Like okay, it's one thing if you have like in your thing like, this dog maybe had like rabies or something, like I did unfortunately what I had to do. But no, she's like, I hated that dog. It's like what are you doing? And then she brought it up in the freaking like on the news. I'm like, why are you doing this? Just shut up. It doesn't matter anymore. You just killed your career in like in like 5 seconds when you brought this up.
uh Freaking Chrissy Noam.
Yeah. Although I guess I don't know. I guess that's not as much of a blunder as David Trone spending $50 million on his Senate primary just to lose by like 11 points.
Oh my God.
That was hilarious.
Didn't he say like a racial slur or something?
Yeah, he said the J word. Like I forget where he said it, but it was like I think it was in like the Maryland Congress or something. I forget.
Oh no.
Yeah, when I saw that, I'm like, no way, is this guy gonna lose because of this? And then sure enough. And by the way, he spent more on that race than Biden had spent, apparently at that point. So
Oh God, that's even worse.
I know, I know. So great, so great. I think David Trone probably takes one of the biggest L's this year.
Oh yeah.
Although if Biden loses, Biden obviously takes a bigger L than him, but still spending $50 million on a Senate primary just to lose is it's not fun.
No, I would imagine not.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Bob Good took an L this year. I'm upset that he's going to be gone.
Yeah, I honestly wanted him to win that primary.
Well, I did too because John McGuire's not good.
Yeah, just another one of Trump's stupid endorsements.
Yeah, I mean, he only did it because of well, I don't think it was just because of the DeSantis endorsement. I think it was also because of MTG. So
Ah, that could explain.
yeah, yeah. No, have fun with John McGuire and his voting against ending child marriage bill.
Oh, what the fuck?
Did you not hear about this?
No, I didn't.
He basically he was the only person who didn't vote for this one bill that would have made I think it was marriage below the age of 18 illegal in the state.
What?
I could probably
Oh,
try
that's
to find that somewhere, but people were posting about it all over the place with when that primary was going on.
I didn't
So
hear. I didn't hear about that.
yeah, the Freedom Caucus took a lot of L's this year.
Yep.
Hopefully they can improve, or hopefully either they can improve or we get like a MAGA caucus in the House, one or the other.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Kevin McCarthy was no longer speaker when you made your last video. Yeah, no, he wasn't.
Wait, was it that long ago?
Yeah, no, I think no. Kevin McCarthy was ousted. I think in September of last year.
Wow, bro wasn't even speaker for a year.
I think it was something like that. I just remember it was like the fall when McCarthy got ousted.
I can't remember exactly when my last video was.
Didn't you make like a short for the Iowa caucus or something?
Oh yeah, I made some shitty short, and it was like pretty accurate.
Yeah, I was gonna say my prediction for the Iowa caucus was like pretty spot on as well. I said that like Trump would get like 50, he got 51. I said DeSantis would get like 20, he got 21. The only person I overestimated was Ramaswamy, but I
Ah,
got like the big three spot on, which was what mattered.
yeah,
And then
but
my New
like,
Hampshire prediction wasn't good, but yeah, you can't win them all.
besides the short, yeah, no, it was like it was 2023 governor election prediction, and it was on the 5th of November. It was like the night before.
I'm assuming you probably had Bashir winning, and then
Yep.
I don't know by
Yeah.
how much.
Yeah, but I had it like, hold on. I had Bashir winning by 2 points.
That's the thing about what I had him winning by.
And then I had Reeves winning by like 6.
I think that's what I had him. I had him like it was somewhere between like 6 and 8. I think is what I had him winning by.
I mean, I technically got the winners correct, and then these I got people in the fucking comments be like, "Haha, wrong. What a glorious night to be a Democrat." Like, my brother, I literally got the winners correct. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, you weren't like that far off in terms of the percentages. Bashir won by 5, so you were just
Yeah,
off
that's
by
only
3
like a couple
points.
points off.
I mean, because I remember like there were some people saying like because of the Emerson poll, like which I think had it like tied. They're like, oh, Daniel Cameron's gonna win now. I'm like, I don't think so.
Yeah, no.
I think maybe if the election happened like 2 weeks later, that Cameron might have had a shot, but I'm like, nah, I don't see it.
Yeah. But yeah, the Kentucky election was definitely a disappointment.
Mm-hmm. And it's funny too, like if turnout had been higher, I mean, I think you could have probably seen Cameron win, but no one was motivated to vote. Bashir is well liked. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. And like, I don't know. Cameron lost by 5. Like, I just wonder how much higher turnout would have to be to turn that around.
I think maybe if you got turnout higher in like the southeast of Kentucky, probably just the east, like the eastern ancestral Democratic areas, that definitely would have helped at least a little bit.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm probably gonna end the stream soon, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else specifically to talk about. I mean, we talked about Trump, the assassination, Vance being VP, a lot of other stuff that's just happened in the last year, just because so much has happened.
Yeah, it's been crazy.
I'm sure there's going to be crazier things to go. So,
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and end the stream here. Been fun. We talked about a
yeah.
lot. I'll probably do a separate video about the house later on, but yeah.
Okay.
All right. See you later.
All right, you too, man. Goodbye.
All right, bye.